couple of tips for the guys wanting to trade prop firms. Now, the prop firm industry at the moment is on fire. Let's be honest. The funded trader has gone up in smoke. Everyone's kicking off, and numerous prop firms before that have all gone under. So it's a very volatile time, and people are questioning, like, and asking me, like, what do you think's the best one to go for? And every time I just say, play it safe and go with FTMO. There is another one that I really like, and it is the 5%ers. I mentioned that back from, I think, like, just since I started YouTube talking about the 5%ers. I thought there was a really good deal. They've been around since 2016, so I think that's the same time as FTMO. So it has a lot going for it. If you have a look at the rules, I think most people don't like going for FTMO or the 5%ers purely because they're just hard to pass. But at the end of the day, if they're hard to pass, the most likely of you getting a payout is a lot higher. Like, I know it kind of sucks with the American side of the market is obviously FTMO have pulled out, so you can't even use them. I don't know about the 5%ers. I don't know if they're in the same boat. So if you're American and you want to trade with them, it kind of sucks because you didn't have that choice. I feel like the American side is just being pushed towards futures, which is fair enough. I feel like that's a safer place to be. Like, if you want some consistency, I feel like just pick a market that you know isn't just going to poof overnight. Futures have been around for a very long time in America. It's legal in America. So just for me as a Forex trader, for me as a trader, if I was in America, I would just be focusing on futures purely because I know it's not going to go away. If I'm in trading for the long term, if you guys are thinking long term in trading, you want to develop yourself as a trader, you want to develop your skill set, you want to just do it for an actual job. You need to have a business behind it that makes sense. And what makes sense for you is to pick futures because you know it's going to be around for long time. It's not going to have I forgot, it was the SEC, something like that. The Chicago, no, I forgot what it's called. I'll put it up on the screen. You're going to roast me in the comments. I don't know the name, but I don't know. The regulators, the people that say you can't do this, you can't do that, that's bad, this is good, whatever. Those people, you know, they're not just going to randomly pop up and be like, oh, by the way, you shut down for dodgy dealings, because if they're regulated, they should be going by the book. Obviously, that's not always the case. You're going to get some rogue firms here and there, but by and large, it should be safe for you to be able to trade futures. So futures prop-wise is a safer bet for you to go. The only downside with futures I see is that what you get as a prop firm kind of sucks compared to what the Forex people get. Like, you don't get the drawdown rules that you get with your Forex. You probably don't get the leverage that you do with Forex, you know. So it is very difficult, I'd say. But at the end of the day, you don't really have a choice. It kind of sucks. Luckily for me and other people of other side the pond in Europe, we get to trade with FTMO and the 5%ers and stuff like that. So if you're new to trading and you're trying to navigate your way through this storm, right? You're going to have some extremists saying prop firms are the best and just go with it, it's fine, it'll blow over. And then you're going to have some extremists saying prop firms are bad, they're horrible, just get with a broker. But at the end of the day, they're the same thing, just repackaged, right? 70% of people lose money with brokers. Probably the same amount lose money with prop firms, okay? They're the same people that basically designed it, but now they're just making more money out of it. Simple as that. The losers pay the winners. It's a zero-sum game. But it's the best advantage that you guys are ever going to have if you come from a normal background and you haven't inherited a load of money. Most people don't even have £1,000 spare, let alone having at least 100,000 to trade with to potentially live off if you're going to make 1-2% a month, which is perfectly reasonable, perfectly normal. I know it's not sexy, like everyone keeps saying, oh, I want to make 100 grand a month, right? Great. Probably have $1 million in funding then. If you're going to be risking 1% per trade, no more than 2% per trade, or if you're going to just yeet 40% down, right? It's just, if you're going to do it smart, if you're in it for the long term, just pick the best firms. And the best firm at the moment for me is FTMO. Do the free trial. Literally do not pay any money for any challenge whatsoever until you can pass a free trial comfortably. Don't feel like, oh, I kind of just fluked it. Comfortably pass it, and don't risk more than 1% per trade either, because there's no point. I totally get how people gamify. I totally do. I understand why someone would risk 4% on a trade just to see if he can pass faster. But that, again, that's not going to instill the good trading habits that you need. These prop firms will use that against you. They just will. Yes, it's not going to go with their rules, but at the end of the day, you come to them, they didn't come to you, you gave them money, they ain't going to give you money if you break their rules, or if they interpret you as high risk. Because if you have a look at the contract, at any prop firm, this includes FTMO probably, deep down in this tiny squiggle things, it's going to say, if we don't like what you're doing, we're just not going to pay you out anyway. And you go, yes, okay. That is probably the agreement, right? Don't quote me on that. But some sort of wording like that is going to be there, okay? So just trade it properly. It might take you 2-3 months to pass phase 1. And then it might take you 2 months to pass phase 2. So what? If you're in trading for the long term, why do you care if it takes you a long time to pass? Yes, I know you want money now and you want to be funded now, but it's going to take time. You are going to mess up. If your consistency score isn't high enough, if you're erratic with putting 1% on one trade because it's a C setup or whatever you guys call it, and then you put 44% on another trade because it's an A+ setup, how do you know? You can't read the future. You don't have that luxury of prop firms. You do have that luxury of private, but the real reason why you're using a prop firm is because you don't have enough money to go private, right? So just use this as a good way to trade correctly with the right risk management where you're not over leveraging every trade, and just try to follow the rules as best they can. Because if you do that, if you follow the rules to the T, you know your consistency's there, you actually read all the rules and you've gone through right, and there is no way they can deny a payout, and they still do, then by all means roast them, destroy them, whatever, go on Twitter and smash, right? Do your thing, because you know wholeheartedly that you did not violate any rules in any way, shape or form, right? So at least you could sleep soundly at night knowing that you didn't screw it up for what you've done deep down inside. Is actually the prop firm generally screwing you over. So everyone's going to have different experience with this. I know when I've broke a rule, I've been punished for it and I've lost the account. Simple as that. But when I haven't busted a rule and I've stuck to the rules and I've played it safely, I haven't used massive like leverage or like massive risk per trade randomly out the blue. Like if I'll put a screenshot up here of my current challenge, right? That's my consistency score. I'm kind of doing the same thing day in, day out. It's, as you see from my challenges that you see every Friday that's coming out, I only did 3.2% last month. That's fine. I know in the industry and on YouTube that's rubbish, but it's perfectly fine to do 3%, 2-3% a month is fine. 1-2% a month is fine. So I feel like this whole prop firms are giving you an out to gamble and you guys are biting on it, rather than just sitting back, understanding the game, understand the opportunity that you have. All you got to do is just play by the rules. If they can't do anything to you, if you have all the evidence to say you haven't done the thing that they're accusing you of, because then it's only going to shoot them in the foot, because you have all the evidence to go mad online and destroy them, and it's all going to come crashing down eventually. Like, look at all the other funds that have happened to, right? They will get investigated through dodgy dealings if you have all the evidence there to prove that what you've done is legit and you buy the rules, buy the book. But that's what I'm saying, yeah. So if you are new to trading and you are trying to figure out, do I go private, do I go funded? For me, don't put any money anywhere. Do FTMO, do the free trial. Pass out once or twice comfortably. It's only 5% that you got to make. If you can't make 5%, how are you going to make 10% to pass phase 1? Doesn't make any sense. Pass that comfortably. Be comfortable with what you're doing, how to use a platform, how much risk you're using. Just have everything dialed. Then, when you're ready, do a 10K. Put the bare minimum amount of money into this, because it's going to be a whole new ball game, okay? Put the bare minimum in. Do a 10K. Yes, it might take you 5 to 6 months to pass and you're only 10K funded. You might think this is rubbish, because if I do 2-3% in a month, that's only going to be $200 to $300 in a month. That's rubbish. I get it. But at least what you've done is you've proved to yourself that you have made 15% in the first place just to get the ball rolling. Then when you have the pressure of you having actually something to lose, you succeeded and made 2-3% when most people blow the account at that stage, right? So you've already proved to yourself immensely that you can do this, and you're consistent, because it wasn't a one and done situation where you've just yeeted 4% on a trade and gone for a 1 to 2 or just tried to pass in one trade, right? You know that doesn't make sense for FTMO because it's 10%, not 8%. So then you just know, okay, I'll take that $300 plus the refund. I'll get 500 roughly back. Then I'll put that into a 100K challenge. Do the same again. And now that $300 that you've just proved yourself you can do is now 3,000. Do the same again. Buy 200 or two 200s for 1,000 each. Then it will start to grow. But you've got to start off with the baby steps. You've got to just go by their rules. You've come to them. They're giving you an opportunity. Don't give them an excuse to shoot you in the face. That's all I'm saying. If you agree, let me know. I'll see you Friday.